Hello and welcome to the Big Sport Pod, the game show where two comedians face each other to see who has the best sporting knowledge. Just a disclaimer for this one, we had a few sound issues and also we lost video a little bit along the line. You'll know when that is because if you're watching this on YouTube, the video will cut. We couldn't do much about it, unfortunately, afterwards. We couldn't salvage it, but we still had the audio. So it's about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe a bit longer, where we won't have any visual for that bit. So I do really apologise. We had some issues. There was also a massive party, an almost festival going on below the studio, which meant that we were really struggling with sound leak. So hopefully you don't hear too much of that, but if you hear the odd beat in the background, you know why. But hopefully that won't disturb your enjoyment of this episode, and they were wonderful guests to have on. Now over to me in the studio to introduce this week's guests. Hello and welcome to the Big Sport Pod. We've got a new format and we've got some wonderful guests. It's a quiz show you're going to love, probably. Today we've got some wonderful guests. We've got comedian and playwright Archie Maddocks.
Yep.
Yep,
Hi.
I got that right. That was
Yeah,
good
well
confirmation. And a wonderful comedian in Joe Bingham. Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you so much for coming on. To those who are used to the Big Sport Pod on what it used to be, we've changed it up. We're making it series-based. It's going to be great. So get on board, and if you don't like it, don't tell me. Right. Guys, we all play football together. That's the first thing I want to say. We've got competitive spirit in us. I'm going to be honest, having played football with both of you, Archie, for me, wins on competitiveness. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
I think when it's not going your way, it comes out quicker than most. Yeah.
I think I'm very calm.
Yeah,
I
you
could be
bark
so
orders,
much
mate.
worse. Yeah, that's cool being a captain, bruv.
Yeah, self-appointed.
Because
I
you
quite
lot
like
are
that.
fucking hopeless. No one goes where they're supposed to.
Right. I would like to say I try very hard at football.
Yeah, that's not enough. All right, instructions need to be adhered to.
I always like being on your team, Archie, because I'm like, I'm gonna get a fucking earful. For the whole match, I'm gonna get an earful.
It was a difficult adjustment to go from like playing Saturdays to playing comedians 7-a-side. You just have to accept that it's not the same.
No, I know.
You won't get as pissed off. But I have moments where I'm just like, I can't do this.
I mean, Joe, you've got a really good right foot. I'm gonna say right foot.
The fact that you aren't sure if it's right or left foot.
It's just very powerful.
too
Whatever
sure.
it is, you can really hit a ball hard.
That's
And
it.
historic.
All I've got. Yeah.
It's all you've got. Guys, you love your sport. Main sports for you, Archie. What did you grow up playing?
I played football and cricket mainly, and then I did a little bit of boxing when I was like 16. But the gym that I went to was frequented by a community that lived in caravans, and they were very brutal, so I didn't go often.
Cool. And we won't ask any more questions about that because you did it so well. You did that so well. How about you? Did you do any boxing or anything in school?
Yeah, it's mine was football and then mixed martial arts because of my old man. We had a traveller that fought with us as well.
Yeah.
His name was Tommy. He got sectioned. Yeah, he was a great guy. Yeah.
Do you know what? I think they get such a bad rap, but
Oh
I
my
fucking
God, yeah.
love, like every traveller I've ever met, I fucking love their quality.
He was mental. He only drank Red Bull, and he used to do wheelies in the car park of the gym on his motocross bike.
We had one in my school who used to come in with one boxing glove, and he was like number 4 in England, and he used to just crack people in the head in the school. And I remember he'd done it to a teacher once. The teacher turned around, saw who it was, and apologised to him. It's mad.
Sorry, I was.
Yeah,
sorry, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
there.
Because the teacher went to fucking shout at him, or probably fight. My school was a bit mad, and he went, sorry, and just fully walked off because you can't fight a traveller.
I also find them quite poetic. Like, you know the videos that go out where they're challenging like another family to a fight, and like they'll come out with stuff like, you know, like no man who's born from a mother could defeat me in combat, and you're like, that is a poetic way of saying I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
By the moon's rise I will attack, and you're like, fuck it.
It's kind of a community built on unity and family and all of those sort of traditional values.
There's a real honour.
And I suppose there's a sort of discipline to fighting that seems to go into it. So for boxing, you need to be pretty disciplined to do it. And there has to be. So I've never met a traveller. I've never been sort of involved in any way. We had a lot of travellers in Weston-super-Mare, but there was never really much, from my memory, there was never much crossover in terms of sport or like schooling. But yeah, it's funny. They do seem to be like a punching bag in the comedy scene, don't they?
Yeah.
If you think about like of all of the communities that get picked out, There are two that come to mind that get picked out more than any, and it's probably the trans community, which I absolutely despise the fact that people are using that as a punching bag, but also definitely the traveller community.
I've also not seen many travellers at comedy gigs. So
exactly.
That might be why.
Yeah, and ironically, they're both communities that will knock the person out for chatting shit about it. So it's very interesting to me. I always think if you're doing comedy about a group, you've got to do it to the group. Because if you can't do it to the group, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I think that's a really good point. I think everyone who is doing material about social groups they're not part of or don't have much experience with should do it to that group.
Yeah, because otherwise you slip into it being hateful, innit? So easily.
There's a difference between making a joke about someone and making a joke with a group of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, have you ever done like the Desi gigs, the Indian gigs?
I haven't, no.
If you don't do any joke about South Asians, they'll come up and they'll be like, why didn't you do anything about it? Because everyone's like, there's funny stuff here. And there's a difference to making a racist joke and to making a joke about race. Same way as you can make a joke about trans people and not make it a hurtful joke. You know what I mean?
It's all about angle and all about who you're punching down
and
on.
intention.
Because I think punching down is a thing that's become more prominent in comedy, where it used to be like we're the targets as the comedians, we're the thing that to be punching down at, and we're the bad guys. But there's a lot more comedians just like essentially doing schoolyard sort of bullying to social groups through just like making quips and certainly not being informed about the communities. I found that's a real big thing. And you see that in sport as well. To link this back in sport, you see particularly as an LGBT member and homophobic chanting. So like the Rent Boy chant.
Yeah.
The people defending that chant are all straight people. There's no gay people going, no, that chant needs to be like, we get where that comes from and why that's bad and why that's not useful.
We gave you the rainbow laces, Joe. What more do you want?
We gave ourselves the rainbow laces.
That was brilliant.
I'm going to be honest, straight people weren't giving us that. We made that and now straight people wear them.
Unless when they were like our protest is going to be Harry Kane's going to wear a rainbow armband.
And they go, you get a fine. Okay, I won't.
Yeah. We don't care about the guys that much.
We're allies, but we don't want to get fined.
Yeah. We don't allies at a price. Yeah.
Do you know what did annoy me about I've got to word this properly. It annoyed me that people was upset at Qatar for having a terrible human rights record and anti-gay legislations and blah blah blah. But no one was upset when it was in Russia, which has the same stuff.
I think
no one moaned the same way.
I think the BBC handled that quite well because they mentioned that, and I think that they at the front of it they were like, we should have done more in Russia. And I think the tricky element with Russia is that it's sort of in certain parts it's not really in law. So it's underhand homophobia and underhand sort of
that's true,
and that makes it harder to go. You do that all the time.
Do you know what my problem was? Though,
in Qatar.
My problem with it was that it kind of felt like it was Europeans going, look, we got to educate the brown people on how to be better, and they didn't do it with Russia, which is what really annoyed me. And look, I think both is wrong, but I was just like, you never said nothing at this point. And I know the world had moved forward and stuff and blah, blah, blah. But I was just like, you got to have the same energy for whenever there's a problem in any country.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
I completely agree with that. And I think there's an interesting topic to be sort of talked about in terms of how we handle any form of social prejudice in sport, because I also think that definitely equates to Black Lives Matter, but the amount of racist abuse people like Son are having. So it's not just black people that are getting racially abused and we don't really talk about the abuse that Asian players get in the game.
It's ingrained within the football fan culture though, isn't it? Like Park Ji-sung was saying like he was just happy to have the fans singing a song about it.
Yeah, and it was like lyrics about him eating dogs and stuff,
like,
innit?
You eat dog in your home country. It was in the song, and he was like, well, I never really looked into what the song was about. I was just happy to have a song. An English fan culture is like, oh, but we meant it affectionately because we like you and you play for our team.
Or it's like the Tottenham chant, what they call themselves, and I'm like, bruv, that's been racist for time. And it's only the last couple of years people have started saying it. I'm like, that's been bad for years, man.
It's really interesting. I think it's just like people get set in their ways, and people, particularly in football, they love tradition. They live for tradition. It's like everything is based on the old timeness of the sport, and people like old chants, and people like things that hook them back to the past of what their dad or their mum would have been singing. Sorry, camera. Or what I'm so too expressive for podcasts. But I think people, there's sort of a tradition to it. So I sort of understand the sensitivity around some of the chants and the defensiveness around it. But we have to move forward. Yeah. We're a progressive
People don't want to admit that they might be supporting a bad thing, innit?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Absolutely.
There's tradition, and then there's just pig-headedness.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, the subtlety of language. What a deep chat we've started into. But it's very good. I think these chats need to be had.
That's because sport is universe. Sport is the world.
It is. It's a complete reflection of society. I think it's the best way you can see how society is going, is how much violence is in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a few years ago when we were just getting pitch invasions and stuff like that it just sort of peaked. And you can I think it's just a good barometer of where people's temperature is within society. And I think this year we've had less of that sort of aggro in stands as much, but we are sort of hearing more sort of hate speech. So that's becoming a bit more.
But did you see the West Ham one? Did you see that one fan beating
away the Alkmaar sort of? I having lived in the Netherlands, I never knew they had such a sort of thug background.
Nah, they got some far right little pockets, man. Out in Eindhoven and that.
They definitely have far right issues in the Netherlands, but I never knew that Alkmaar as a team had that.
In his head, though, that man, he saw himself as like one of the Knights Templar.
Yeah,
he was like, I am protecting my club 100%. And country.
He thought that was his 300 moment, innit?
It was majestic. How he just held back a swarm. It was like a video game.
Do you know what my favourite thing is? Is that he barely moved. He's just swinging like that, and he's not moving his feet until someone drops, and he tries to kick them and nearly falls down the stairs. Yeah. That was my favourite moment.
Who knew that was the vision of athleticism?
I know.
Because he was a big lad. He's a heavy set
lad.
But he was just fucking smacking them left, right, and centre.
Two black eyes doing his hammers.
Yeah.
So I was like, this man has watched Green Street hundreds.
He's lived for that moment.
Yeah. So good. Anyway, lovely to have you on. We're going to jump into the quiz. So round one, I'm calling Name Them. Round one is called Name Them. I will ask our competitors a leading question, and they simply have to write down as many answers on my list. They get a point for each correct answer. So, 6 clubs that have never been relegated from the Premier League. Go. Your time starts now. Should probably get a timer out. So, if you can't hear this, they're writing it down. This is very good. I'm impressed. I'm getting my timer out. I'm going to roughly say that's 20 seconds. Now, stop. How many did you get, Joe?
I got 4 written down,
And how many did you get?
I got 4.5.
4.5. Okay, I will take the 5th because I can see you've written live. Right. What are your teams, man?
Man U, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton.
Man U, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton. You've got 4.
Yeah. Everton, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U, Liverpool.
Oh, you did well. Do you know which ones you're missing?
Of who's never been relegated?
Yeah.
From the Premier League instead. Newcastle. No, that's the fucking wrong.
Newcastle have definitely got relegated.
Yeah. No, they have.
I can put you out your misery.
No.
Villa were Championship.
No. Villa have been relegated.
Villa's definitely been relegated, and you probably rejoiced in that as a Baggies fan. Tottenham. They have never been relegated. Well done.
Fucking Spurs.
So we have Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, Man United, and Spurs. So you got 5 there, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to write this down because I'm not connected to the internet, which is really professional. So Archie. Don't worry, I'll edit this bit out. Joe. So you got 4. You got 5. It's 5-4. This is a nice testing round. Football's kind of your sport, isn't it? You guys know football.
Yeah.
I don't know much about any other sports, really, so...
Good luck. Yeah. Formula 1 is the next topic, so I hope you... Formula 1 teams, I want you to name as many as you can. Formula 1 teams that have been there and been part of F1 since 1950, so since its conception.
Okay. So the originals.
The originals. And I'm going to stop us there. I think 20 seconds is too long, so we're going to do 10 seconds now. So, how many did you get?
4.
Oh, 4. There's only 3, so this is quite interesting.
In that case, I've got 8.
You got 8?
No, I've got 4.
Okay, which 4 are you going to choose?
But there's only 3.
Yeah. So which 4 are you going to choose? Which 3 are you going to choose?
Who are you asking?
I'm asking. Who went first last time?
Me.
Okay, Archie.
So I'll go first. I got McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Lambo.
Okay, Lambo is an interesting one. Well,
I don't watch Formula 1, bro. I don't know.
That's fair enough.
I had Ferrari, Mercedes. I had Ford, but then I went with McLaren.
So
put the 3 Ford.
You got 2 there, McLaren and Ferrari, and Williams was the other one.
Okay.
So there we go. So how many did you get there, Archie?
2.
2. And 2. So 2 for 2. Now, I mean, you might not be able to hear this on the mics, but there's an absolute rave going on at the moment. It sounds fun, but it's distracting. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. We've got, so at the moment, it's about, what is it, 7-6, producer Luke?
It's 6-7, yeah. Joe on 6, Archie on 7.
This is exciting. Cool. So, how are you on tennis? Not big on tennis?
Nah.
Wimbledon?
Nah.
How about the French Open?
Worse.
Okay, what I want you to list is many French Open winners since 2000. So men's singles this is. So men's singles winners since 2000. And I'll give you another 10 seconds. This is good. This is good. So, pens down. I love the French Open. I'm a huge fan. Gonna mute my computer. I love the French Open. I'm a huge fan. Okay. I love all tennis. I just think it's one of the most mesmerizing sports. Can you not? Do you not?
I disagree entirely.
You disagree?
Yeah.
What do you hate about tennis?
Pretty much everything. I hate the fans. I hate the people. I only like one tennis player, and that's Federer, and that's because he's smooth.
He is smooth.
Yeah,
he's one of the smoothest.
He is. I like the guy that I've written down here as the Aussie.
The Aussie?
He seems to give less of a shit about tennis than we do.
Oh, that's the Greek brother, isn't it? Yeah, Kyrgios. He's a bad boy, actually. I like him.
You like? So I was not surprised. I'm getting your vibe now. Okay, so how many could you name? Do you think?
Can the Aussie count? Because we knew who I meant.
Well, he didn't win it, so it's fine.
Okay, fine. Outside of that, I only went for Agassi, Federer, and Nadal that I wrote.
So since 2000, you won't have Agassi. How about you? Did you?
I got 6, but if Agassi ain't there, I got Agassi, Hewitt. I remember him, Leighton Hewitt. I don't know if he's there.
He didn't win it in this time period.
Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Sampras.
So Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, all did win. We also had Gustavo Kuerten, Albert Costa, Juan Carlos Ferreira. I'm going to be honest, it surprised me as well when I was looking at these. Gaston Gaudio, and then we obviously have Rafa Nadal. Stav Wawrinka won it by surprise. Novak Djokovic and Federer. So 2 Swiss people there. Okay. So how many did you get? 2?
I got Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic.
So you got 3, and you got 2. So 3, 2 there. Cool, wonderful. You're not doing too badly, to be fair, considering you hate all the sports I'm giving at you. Now, how's your Olympic knowledge? This is a hard question. If you get 1, I'll be very impressed.
It depends what sport.
Okay, so this is general.
Okay.
This is name any of the countries. Try this at home. Name any of the countries that have won only 1 single medal over the. This is a bit of a guess job, but you just have to think of. I think of slightly obscure countries not shit countries, obscure countries because of xenophobia. Joe Bingham. We don't do xenophobia on this yet. Depends if it sells. So name any of the countries that have won just 1 medal of any colour in the Olympics. Your time starts now. I love the Olympics. I'm a huge fan. Every year, I'm doing what I call filling whilst you guys write, because I realise this is good. It's quite distracting as well, though.
Just one thing.
Just one medal. I'm going to give you another 5 seconds. This is hard. I'm going to get you to stop there. I
don't even know if some of these countries are in the Olympics. Does everyone's
in the Olympics apart from Russia. But we won't talk about that.
But that's only recently.
But aren't they allowed to enter it? But they're not labelled as Russia. They're labelled as the Russian Olympic Committee.
Yes.
So it's still Russia.
Historically, it used to be that. Yeah.
They're just not allowed to be seen to be flying the flag for Russia, which seems to.
And you have independent ones, so people who may be I think Chinese Taipei, which is now Taiwan, and that's always had sort of a difficulty with the Olympics as well. But anyway, what did you go for? You've written down a load.
I got the refugee one because they got their own team in it.
Yeah, but they're not in the list, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's bullshit. Lesotho,
a good guess, but not correct.
Mexico,
sadly not.
Malta,
no.
India,
no.
Bangladesh,
no.
Pakistan.
Nope.
Fuck.
What were yours, Bingham?
I had Italy. I just couldn't imagine them being very good at Olympic sport.
That's such a wide miss.
Moldova.
I'm afraid not.
And San Marino.
San Marino. I quite like the guess, but no. So you could have had Barbados, Cyprus, Eritrea, Guyana. Luke, what are the scores?
We got Joe on 8. We got Archie on 10.
That's fantastic, guys. It's a good start. It's a strong start. Archie is leading the way, though. Round 2 is the press conference. Each competitor will get a famous sporting event. I will play the part of a journalist asking leading questions to try and guide our competitors to the right answer. They will play the part of an athlete or pundit answering my questions. They get a point for every correct answer. So, the next round is an improv round where you have to pretend to be an athlete answering these questions in the style of being in a press conference. So I will ask you a leading question based on an event, a sporting event, and you'll have to sort of try and busk around the answer and hopefully give me the answer that I'm looking for. So they're leading questions. It might not be easy. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go second?
Oh, I thought we were working together like an improv troupe.
No. It's first and second. You both have a sporting event each.
I don't mind. I want to know what the questions are.
So as the leader, you can go first or second. That's all I'm giving you.
Is the first question a football question?
No.
Then I want to go second.
Okay, so the first one, Joe, we'll start with you, is the thriller in Manila. It's when Muhammad Ali...
Bullshit.
A very, very famous thing. So I'm going to be the press conference guy. I would maybe do an accent normally, but I'm going to just play it straight for now. This may develop in time. So, right, the first question I'd like to ask you, and I want you to really play up being an athlete. You don't have to pretend to be Muhammad Ali, but this is in the sort of spirit of Muhammad Ali.
Please pretend to be Muhammad Ali.
I was thinking like then or now. Okay.
This could really
What's now? Silence.
You could be a Brummy Muhammad Ali if you so
with
wish.
all that charisma that Brummies naturally have.
But I want that classic sort of patter, that sort of media training vibe.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Cool. So, do you have anything you'd like to say to your opponent?
Yeah, I have got something to say, actually. When I'm done with you, you're going to be a myth, mate. People are going to talk about you and they're going to be like, did that man even exist? Because I'm going to decimate your whole being. I'm going to do the rope-a-dope thing that I'm not sure if I've invented yet or not. But I'll do it and then they'll know what it is. And the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, all that stuff. And the mad stuff that you said on Parkinson, or that I said on Parkinson. Yeah, you're finished. Yeah.
Great. Great.
I'm not going to Vietnam.
I quite like the boxing patter we're getting. It's kind of combative. Yeah, I like it. You've started well.
Rope-a-dope was Rumble in the Jungle, wasn't it? George Foreman.
So, do you like...
This was Sonny Liston.
I'm loving this. You should have got this question.
I know. I'm fucking furious.
Do you like fighting in this country? So, to give you a bit more of an idea, I'm asking a question there about a country.
I seem to recall that there's some sort of political thing going on at this point. I don't know exactly what, but we're here now, and we're going to put a show on. It's too hot
where are
for
you?
Boxing.
Where are you, if I'm giving you a hint?
I can't remember where Manila is, but it's hot. Too hot for boxing. And they're making us box outside, are they? Was that a thing? Or in an open air venue? I don't recall.
You're as a boxer, you're quite inquisitive.
Yeah, but I'm a well-read man.
Yeah.
On lots of political stuff that if anybody was to impersonate me in years to come, should try and do the same to keep up to date on that.
Well-read, but not quite sure where Manila is. So, next question. How do you feel about winning in that fashion? Like, how did you beat him?
God, I know this fight so well as well.
I punched him. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put some gloves on. Some gloves on, and I punched him. I knocked him out. Maybe. It was all such a blur because of the adrenaline and the legacy of being Muhammad Ali.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Span his jaw.
And that was a grueling fight. It was a grueling fight. It was a grueling fight. Can you believe it took until that round to win?
Yeah, I always knew. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that the fans got their money's worth. I could have finished him first minute, but I thought no, because then how would I come up with more poetic things?
Yeah, which round do you think?
Fight? So I waited, and there are 12 rounds in a championship boxing fight. Maybe. And I thought I'll wait towards the end to get this wrapped up. I've been punched in the head a lot. It's not as clear as I'd like it to be.
Yeah. Well, that was something. Well done, Joe. You got 1 point out of that.
I can feel Archie staring at this.
Right, but well done. That's a good introduction. Are you ready for yours? So, how's your? You're gonna hate me. Formula One knowledge.
Oh, you're such a cunt.
Feel good. Sorry, whenever I do a laugh like that, I have to say feel good.
Okay.
Like Feel Good Inc. from Gorillaz.
No, I'm with it.
The event I want you to be Max Verstappen in this. You can do the Dutch accent if you so wish.
Okay. Didn't know he was from there.
This is when Max Verstappen controversially won that in Abu Dhabi. So in Abu Dhabi, he won under very controversial circumstances.
So I watched the documentary.
So and this is where Lewis lost his championship due to a very controversial safety car. So I'm going to ask you questions about this. This might be quite tricky for you, but we'll see. But you do get a point. I should have said this at the start. You do get a point for best sort of vibe when doing this. So the best performer.
Well, then I'd have hammed it up a bit more.
It would be nice if you put some effort in the first place.
I was too busy trying to figure out anything about boxing, mate. I'm sorry.
Well, you were busking around.
Okay, all
right. So my first question to you, Max.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, Dennis Bergkamp.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Yep. Smoking potatoes. Yep.
Smoking potatoes. This could be quite offensive to the Dutch listeners. Can you believe a safety car was called after that driver that caused the crash?
Yes, I believe that they should have been called for that because it's important to be safe in Formula One. It's very fast cars, and Lewis Hamilton was just he was in the wrong, or maybe it was Schumacher. He's not dead, but he's not here, so. I guess,
fucking good. It's a good. Oh, Joe, you're losing on the.
Well, I mean, I'll know for next time.
So, do you enjoy racing on this circuit? I have given this away a little bit, if you can remember.
Yes, I love to race in Abu Dhabi. I think it's a very forward-thinking place, and long live the king or the Sultan. I'm not sure who's in charge, but. Yep, long live them, and thank you very much for the money that I was given, which has nothing to do with anything at all. But I think it's wonderful people, and the buildings are fantastic, and the workers are very good at what they do, and very nice.
It's incredible work, Archie.
Break into Leonardo DiCaprio.
I know. There was a few South African moments. Fucking hell.
Do you know what I'm loving, Joe? The commitment to the character. He's got into his acting.
I didn't know there were points. He wasn't going to do the accent until you told him there was points.
Oh no, I was.
He said smoke
any chance for an accent, I'm giving it a go.
Right. Now, my next question to you, Max, is: are you happy to see that Ferrari driver finishing third?
Yes, I was very happy to see the Ferrari driver whose name I know. I will say in a minute. I think that he deserved to finish third because it's not the best driver in the world. Is not David Coulthard. That's two before. It's not Damon Hill, who's someone else that I know, and it's not Schumacher for reasons that I've said already.
Can I put you on the answer
the name I'm gonna say. I mean, I know it's not Lewis Hamilton, but I'm gonna say Lewis Hamilton.
Okay, so what do you think about the race director? Do you think he'll be fired?
I think he will be fired. I'm not sure who's in charge of Formula One anymore. It might be that guy, the cake man, Eccles cake. Is that is Ecclestone? That's his name. The Ecclestone guy.
The cake man.
I don't know if he's still in charge, but I think that he should be fired. And if it's not him, then it's someone else. Again, I'm going to say Schumacher, even though it may not. It's probably not him or his family.
I'm going to put you out your misery. You got 1 point, the Abu Dhabi one, which I can't give away.
Yeah.
But if you gave me Yas Marina, which was the actual race circuit, that would have been great. But
Nope.
I'll give you a sort of point for that because I felt bad because you really didn't know where you were going with that. Nicholas Latifi caused the safety car. That was what I was looking for at the first question. And the driver who finished third was Carlos Sainz Jr.
No,
Carlos Sainz, I would have taken that. And Michael Massey was the race director who did get fired very shortly after, or left his post. So that was one each on that round. Now, what are the scores currently, Luke?
We've got Joe on 9 and Archie on 12.
So you can claw this back. Hello, and sorry to interrupt the podcast. I hope you're enjoying it. This is just a very quick message to let you know that you can donate money to this podcast to help us create Series 2. It costs in excess of around about £500 to create a series, and I'm doing this solo at the moment, so it's quite expensive for me to continue to do. So I'd love you to help me. If you have any money at all, do follow the Ko-fi link in the episode description. If you don't have money, just spread the word, just let people know that this exists. Anyway, enough of all that. I love you. Enjoy the rest of this episode. The final round is the penalty shootout, where each competitor takes turns as the striker. The striker answers a multiple choice question, while the opponent, acting as the goalkeeper, answers a question without the choices. If a striker answers correctly and the goalkeeper doesn't, the striker scores a goal. If the goalkeeper answers correctly, they save the shot, and no points are awarded. Each goal earns a point. Cool. So, first question. As Archie is leading, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first this time.
You'll go
first. I made him go first and it fucked me.
Fair enough. Right. So.
I didn't fare much better, to be fair.
But I think both of us would have done better.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go first.
I'm loving this. Right. So, in which sport is the Ryder Cup contested? So, is that golf, tennis, or cycling?
Golf.
Golf. Bang on. Bang on. Now, to save...
I get a follow-up question that's not multiple choice on golf. All I know about golf is the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. Who won the last Ryder Cup?
Can I ask a question? Is the Ryder Cup where it's USA versus Europe?
I can't tell you any of that.
It was Europe.
It wasn't. It was USA, but you were so close. Bad luck. So 1 point to Archie there.
Okay.
I wouldn't have asked that question. I didn't know what the fuck the Ryder Cup is. I just know it's a thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you like golf, I love golf, but it's something I came to quite late. I've come to it now.
Have you ever played golf?
Yeah, it's fucking hard.
It's impossible.
Yeah. I play it with...
Oh my God.
I play it with Emsley and Lou Fitz.
Oh yeah.
So Emsley will be on the next episode, but also Lou Fitz. And we are, I would say, they're better, but we're all at a level where it's fine to be shit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I want.
Yeah.
But there's always the pressure behind you. So you get to, I'm not very good at the tee off bit, which is kind of quite integral.
That was my worst bit.
And you get these people behind you who are all dressed up in their sort of golf gear. There's nothing more stressful than standing up to the tee, being quite shit at golf, and having an audience of people just wanting you to fail for the humour of it.
It's T1 that's always the worst.
It's impossible.
Clubhouse.
Oh, the clubhouse.
Everyone else is sat in the bar. They've already played.
Oh, awful.
I went golfing with my boys once, and I thought, I can just Happy Gilmore this. And I run up to it and went to hit it, and it was right by like an edge, and I missed it, and then I fell down the edge.
Shit.
And I was like, I ain't playing this fucking stupid game again.
It is very hard. It's so technical. I had a couple of lessons before I started doing it, and it's like, you know, when you that drumming. Like, have you ever tried drumming?
Yeah.
It's like you're doing so many things at once, and you're thinking about so many things just to do one fucking swing. Very fun, but very. Like, I swear more than in any other circumstance on a golf swing. I turn into a different person. Anyway, your turn to strike. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You're gonna hate this. Who won the playoff final in League 2 this season? So this is the 2022-2023 season. Is it Stockport, Bradford, or Carlisle?
Stockport.
Do you know the answer?
I think I know the answer.
It's Carlisle.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah, of course you were. So for you, that's a missed shot. But so we would, if you were to save it, the question you would have been asked was who won League 2?
League 2?
Yeah, this season.
Plymouth.
No, League 1. So it would have been Leyton Orient. So you both would have got that wrong. So no point for either there.
Well.
So then we go to the next question. You ready for the next question?
Mm-hmm.
So you're striking here. Who won the last Women's World Cup? USA, Sweden, or Canada?
USA.
You're correct. Now, to save this, who was the runner-up?
I've already forgotten the options.
Well, there's no. I'm not.
No, but it would have been one of those. Oh no! It wouldn't have been. Oh, who was the? France.
It was the Netherlands.
Okay.
I didn't know they were a big women's. I think that must have been quite a shock. I was quite surprised when I read that. So Archie, you get your goal.
Yes.
You still get to claim to be a feminist.
And you get to claim to be a feminist. This is good. So, you're currently 2-0 down. You're here to strike.
I'm much further behind. But
for the joy of the game, you're 2-0 down.
Okay.
So, how many gold medals has Usain Bolt won? 6, 8, or 10?
8.
You are correct. Now, to save it, who has won the second most?
Am I allowed to ask any questions?
Nope. Because I probably won't be able to answer.
The second most... What, gold medals ever?
In sprinting.
In sprinting. Say Tyson Gay?
No, it was Carl Lewis. On to the next one. So, you're to strike here. Tom Daley won his first Olympic gold in Japan. Who was his diving partner? So he won the synchronized. Who was his diving partner? Noah Williams, Jack Law, or Matty Lee?
I mean, I've got no clue. I'm going to go Matty Lee. That sounds
You're
like a diver.
correct.
Fucking
you are
hell.
correct. Yeah, you're correct. I was like, good guess. This is the great thing about multiple choice is it's a good game, basically. So this is going well.
And now I've got to ask a related question about synchronized Olympic diving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which country did they beat? That was basically the
China.
question. Yep, you're bang on. You've saved it.
Oh, this is bollocks.
Saved it. So no points on that one.
Absolute
So it's
bullshit.
still
I'm so upset about the topic as I immediately went, oh, I know that. Yeah.
still 2-1. This is exciting. So you're to strike. Are you excited? Are you getting? There's a competitive energy. You're in it. You're in it. This is good. Cool.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying this.
You are quite enjoying this. It's quite fun. See, when I started,
Getting well into it.
before we recorded,
You mocked
this round. It's a good
The
round.
whole thing should be this. Like, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, there's a lot of questions. I'm going to be honest, this is the meat of the podcast. Right. It is you to strike. Joe Bingham. Which country hosted the last Winter Olympics?
I
need to do the multiple choice. Sorry. I realised I just didn't give you the multiple choice. Korea, China, or USA?
I was going to say USA before I was given the options, but I think I'm wrong.
What are you answering?
USA.
You think USA? You're incorrect, I'm afraid. It was China.
Okay.
Now, you don't get to save, but if you were to save, the question we're going to be asked is, what's GB's strongest event in the Winter Olympics?
Curling.
Yes, straight in. So you would have saved it anyway, but no points there. Now, which slam has Roger Federer... Which slam has Roger Federer won the most? Is it Wimbledon, Australia, or USA? Or the US Open, depending on your
He's
time.
good on grass, isn't it? Of Wimbledon.
You're correct. Now, to save, which one has Nadal won the most?
French.
Yes, saved it. No points there.
sake.
Good. Tennis
more
knowledge.
obscure knowledge.
I know.
Yeah,
See, this is the thing. You can dig it out.
He loves the clay.
He loves the clay. He does love the clay. Right. You to strike.
Nice him to
That's
strike.
me.
You to strike, as I said. You to strike, Joe Bingham. It's quite hard to follow,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
it's good. Good gear. Which country? So I went quite northern then. Which country has won the most Rugby World Cups? It could be Australia, New Zealand, or Fiji.
New Zealand.
Straight in. Who won the last one? To save.
Italy.
I mean, that would have been miraculous if Italy won a Rugby World Cup. It was South Africa.
I thought it was Italy.
Yeah, because there was a year when Italy won everything,
didn't
innit?
Italy do well in the Six Nations? Is that what?
They rarely do well, I'm afraid.
Okay.
They're quite.
I thought because they won the Euros and one Italian guy won Wimbledon
They won some stuff.
and they won some next like Eurovision or something, innit?
Yeah.
That was
Like the
all.
ruggers.
Eurovision and rugby very similar, I would say, in terms of
two
sports.
all in the pens?
It's two all in the pens.
Word, we're in it.
You're in it. I've just lost connection to my computer, but it's fine. We can do this. Right. You're to strike now.
Mm-hmm.
Snooker had a new world champion this year. Who was it? Luca Brissell, Stuart Bingham, Kyron Wilson are your options.
I'm gonna go Stuart Bingham.
You're incorrect, I'm afraid. It was Luca Brissell, and it was amazing. I'm a big snooker fan. Right, Luca Brissell is like, he knocked out Ronnie O'Sullivan. He knocked out all of the big guns. He absolutely smashed it. He was so exciting to watch. Honestly, one of the best exciting snooker talents. Well, you're shaking your head just
I'll
like...
take your word for it.
It's just so good. Sorry, but I love snooker. And you would have been asked if you were to save that was who has won the most snooker tournaments.
Would that be Ronnie O'Sullivan?
It would have been Ronnie O'Sullivan, yes. We end, it's 2-2, on darts. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How's your darts knowledge?
Terrible. I don't know a single dart player.
I know one.
Darts had its very first win from a female athlete in the PDC World Championships. What's her name? Sherrock Fallon, Shelley Fallon, or Fallon Sherrock?
First one, Sherrock Fallon.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a miss. I'm afraid it's Fallon Sherrock.
Oh, is it?
It's the opposite way round. Amazing. If you haven't watched that, she's absolutely smashed it. She smashed
her
it.
face.
Groundbreaking stuff. And your question would have been, to save that, true or false, darts will be in the Commonwealth Games in 2026.
True.
It's false, I'm afraid. So you would have both got that wrong anyway. So we're 2-2.
Whould have thought? On the darts
Not
question.
a fucking...
2-2.
Phil the Power Taylor.
Which-
I was just,
That's what I was
that's what I was going to say.
Now for the decider in this. So this is for a bonus extra point. So you both got 2 in that. But this is just for fun.
Okay.
Because you didn't win the penalty shootout. You're going
And
to
I've
get
won overall. So.
Yeah.
You've won overall.
Yeah.
But this is for fun. That's why we're doing this.
Fine.
Are you having fun?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Not
Great.
now I've lost, no.
You've won, and you sound more sad than Joe.
Because I still have to keep playing, even though I've won.
This is a bit of fun.
and now I'm playing, but with nothing to play for.
Yeah.
It is quite
This
sad.
is the decider for the penalty shootout.
If you put this up as like worth 5 points, so I could win, then Archie would feel like there's something riding on it.
Yeah.
As would I.
But I don't feel like you can do that.
It would really elevate the energy of your podcast.
Let's make this worth 10.
episode 1. Oh, we're back. Okay, we're back in. But now
I'm joking. I can't do that. I can't do that. This is
I'm
this
gonna
isn't.
kick in your TV, bro. Like,
I can't do that. One, because Archie, to be fair, would absolutely destroy me in a fight.
Yeah, and you have to see us on Sundays.
and I'd have to see you on Sunday, and I know that it would be awful. So the decider is very simple. You have to name as many teams that have won a World Cup in the next 15 seconds.
What, writing them down?
We're back to a name them
Who's
round.
won the most World Cups?
Who's won the most world? Name the teams that have won a World Cup. A World
Okay.
Cup. Sorry. Go. Are you ready? How many did you get down?
I only wrote 5.
You got 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or
6.
7 technically.
Well, we'll go with 6. You've won it already. It's fine. But we'll go with Bingham. What's your 6?
Brazil, Uruguay,
Yes.
Argentina, England, France.
Bang on.
Brazil, Uruguay, Italy, France, England, Germany, brackets, West Germany.
Well, that's fine.
Good ball knowledge.
Good knowledge. So yeah, Brazil, Germany, Italy, Argentina, Uruguay, France, England, and Spain is the one I think no one mentioned. But that was really good, guys. It looks like Archie's won that one as well. Which was what? How many did you get? 6.
Yeah.
6-5. We'll say in that last round. So what are the final scores, just for confirmation?
Okay, so Joe got 11, and then Archie crushed him either with 16 or 25.
Either way.
Should we go with the 1 point at the end? So
No,
we'll do,
no.
Nah, let's do 25 because we agreed on 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I got-
25.
Needs to be
I got
fucking humiliating for it.
You
Needs
got
to learn.
16 stroke
Decimated.
25. Cool. So now you're like, yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
up for
Yeah.
this.
He needs to learn a fucking
But
lesson.
you know when it all went downhill, and I didn't know that if I'd have done a very offensive impression of Muhammad Ali in his later years state, that I'd have been rolling in points, Joe.
This
And
is the
that's when
kind-
it really went down.
Do you know what
See,
I think
this
you
is
should
the
do?
kind of bitterness from a boxing kind of player that I wanted during the improv
Do you know what I think you should do? I think you should give him the chance to do Muhammad Ali now.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll ask you one more question. How does it feel losing to Archie Maddocks?
God rest his soul. What a man. What a man.
That
That was
sounded
quite
like
accurate. Yeah, that was towards the end,
that was you. That was his laugh, was it?
No, that was just him thinking and biding his time. Yeah, but I've had a lovely time either way, Joe. That's the main.
Have you enjoyed yourselves
I
on
have.
the
Now
first?
that I've won, it was great, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on for the first and enduring what can only be described as a party downstairs and some stuff. Thank you for watching the Big Sport Pod. We'll be back with another episode next week. So if you liked it, tell your friends. If you didn't, just keep it to yourself. Love you lots. Bye.